What's up? It's Matt Hoffa. You already know OG Brooklyn. And we here in Harlem Cuts, and this is the first episode of My Expert Opinion.
Yo, what's up, world? It's your boy Knowledge of God. Hip hop is real. Y'all already know what it is. This blog is to talk about my experience at My Expert Opinion with Matt Hoffa. Hoffa, what up? First of all, I want to say salute to Math Man, salute to his success and everything he been doing. I love the show. I love, the guests that he be bringing up, the conversations he's been having. Amazing. You know what I'm saying? Putting in that work. Almost about to hit 1 million subscribers. Congrats, Hoffa. Congrats. I wanted to just give everybody a quick little insight on just, my relationship with Math and working at My Expert Opinion with him and everything. I remember Math, man, he came to me. He came to me one day like, yo, Knowledge, I need you to meet me here at this time in Harlem. He sent me the address. Bring your cameras. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking like, oh shit, Hoffa about to give us some type of exclusive. Something crazy about to go down. All right. I get there. That's when he tells me the idea. I'm trying to do a podcast and a show, and I need you to help produce it or, be a part of it or whatever. It was something of that sort. You know what I'm saying? So if you look at the first episode, we shot it. I shot it, you know what I'm saying? But he also asked me to be a guest as well. Like, I want to interview you first.
So you know what? Let me flip the script. I'm going to flip the script. I'm going to interview my man Knowledge from Hipho's Real. How you doing, sir?
This is a big ass honor for me, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you showed me love like since day one. You came to the crib, regular nigga shit, like, you know what I'm saying? With niggas, I ain't know what, like, I'm like, yo, you
had me looking like the floating head with the jewels.
You know, and he said that if you pay that much money, where does it stop? Why would you want it to stop, Norbs? Why would you want it to stop? Why does it have to stop? If that money is there, why does it have to stop, my nigga?
And that's kind of how we started, man. That was really how we started. And when I look right now at the climate and the people that's been on the show, SO, Heineken, Bigger, I don't really, some of the guys that's been on that show, man, salute to them as well. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really familiar with most of them, Only person I probably know as far as those guests before the Hoffa show or the My Expert Opinion was Heineken. Heineken was somebody I knew since the first day I was outside on a URL event. You know what I mean? I met Heineken my first event.
That's crazy, man. Heineken, what the deal, man? You ready for this, man? I know you don't care about who wins. You just want to see niggas get fucked up.
Mr. Wavy and Jay Sean. That's what I want.
Why you want to see that?
Because it's fly niggas talking fly shit.
Okay.
So, but besides him, I just been seeing, the conversations and, the money issues and, all of this crazy fallouts and conversations regarding the My Expert Opinion and Hoffa and how I guess he treated, some of the guys that worked with him. And, when I do hear my name brought up and stuff like that, I'm like, yo, man, me and Mav, we actually had a good working relationship. I never really had no issues with Hoffa, you know what I'm saying? Besides, the issues that we created, you know what I'm saying? When I look back at My Expert Opinion, definitely a great time. Starting from the beginning, Hoffa always figured that this was going to be, always said to me that this was going to be a major situation. He never deviated from how major this was going to be. You know what I'm saying? At the time, I'm working, I'm doing my thing. So I was just happy to work and help and build, just to see him be successful with whatever he's doing. One of our agreements as far as like what I wanted, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, the show's starting out. I'm not expecting any type of compensation or anything like that. I'm like, yo, let's just build. The only thing I wanted was if I could get some behind the scenes footage. Because I'm like, I know content is king, you know what I'm saying? So if I could get some content and build around that, that's basically it basically helps with whatever, you know, me driving out there, tolls, gas, or whatever. I could kind of, in a sense, pay myself, you know. And that was our agreement as far as working with each other behind the scenes. I don't know if you guys remember, after every show, we used to do a My Expert Opinion. We used to be outside right after the show. I would kind of give you guys an insight before we get to the show. So I'd have like the outside interviews, the behind the scenes, the conversations, you know. I would basically do a post interview of the podcast, you know what I'm saying? Interviewing the guests outside in the streets. That's when I think when Math was racing, I think one of Good's peoples, and he raced Jay Black.
You saw it here first. Math Hoffa, fastest man in battle rap.
Yo,
In the street. I can't do it just here. It gotta be in the street.
it's the same. We got the lane.
Give me the fucking hat. Thank you, bro.
And I'm out of shape.
All right, this is what y'all do. Y'all start from over there.
And I'm out of shape. You ready? On your mark, get set, go!
Oh shit! Oh shit! It's going down.
Was it Jay Black? Yeah, I think he was racing Jay Black or something. But, you know, these were the good old times when I first started. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Misfit as well. So, you know, around that time, though, like, that basically was me and Hoffa'S agreement. Like, just basically, you know, I'll do the show as long, not as long, but, you know, our understanding was I could get some dope behind the scenes content. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, that's what I do. Hip Hop is Real. I do interviews. So I figured that was what made the most sense, you know? As far as, like, when you guys started seeing, like, the dissension as far as my role within the show, I basically had real life personal situations going on as far as, like, you know, the birth of my first child and things like that. And just, you know, I wanted to relocate. So I remember coming to Hoffa like a year before I really left the show. Almost like a year or probably like 9 months or something before I really left the show. And I told Hoffa, I was like, yo, Math, I'm about to move to Georgia, bro. Like, I don't think I'm gonna be able to do the show anymore. Like, cause, you know, I gotta take care of my family and do some regular stuff. And I remember Hoffa like, nah, bro, how you gonna mess up the energy? Like, you bugging. And I'm like, yo, you know, you Hoffa, nigga. Like, the shit will pop, period. This going, like, you Math. You don't need me. Like, I'm appreciative of the opportunity, and it definitely benefited me. But, you know, when it comes to real life, you got to do what you got to do. And that was kind of like one of the main reasons why I wasn't really able to do the show. You know, so I remember encouraging Math, like, yo, move around, do it in different places. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember at one point he almost wasn't going to do it in the shop as much anymore. You know, dealing with some behind the scenes things with the shop. And at that time, I just was like, yo, Hoffa, man, you gonna figure it out. Like, you know, because me and him was always building. We used to be after the show till like 3, 4, 5 in the morning, just building different ways, feeding each other different information on how everything could be better. You know, I'd give him dope information, he'd give me some, you know. And I remember to the point where, you know, my memory's a little bit foggy, but I just remember when everything really started coming towards like end where I really was making moves and about to start really getting out of here. That's when Hoffa came with the, yo, you know, I'm about to let them know we came through with a lucrative deal, and, you know, I had to fire you. I'm like, what? Fire me? Like, what you mean? You know?
We gotta talk. We gotta talk. Knowledge been messy and the snake. It's just so much you gonna deal with, bro. It's like, I get it with this media shit.
You know what I'm saying? And I ain't gonna front, that's when I started really learning and understanding, like, yo, the power of, you know, I would say the power of being able to play into the media and play into, you know, the people. You know what I'm saying? And just kind of like having fun with everything, because people, you know, they're into anything that's what's the word? They're into anything that's, you know, extra spicy or gossipy or whatever. So Hoffa told me he was gonna diss me on Twitter, and I'm like, yo, Math, I don't know, man. I ain't really good at this, man. I got a horrible poker face. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers will call me, and I'm gonna end up telling the truth. You know what I mean? All types of dumb shit. I'm just not used to playing those type of games. And Math like, yo, I'm gonna do it, man, and you come back and you talk your shit.
On this blog to, give you guys, a little insight on what's happening right now. I see you guys all caught up on what just happened between me and Math on Twitter. You know what I'm saying, about me getting fired allegedly from the show. You know what I'm saying? I see blogs already out, everybody having fun. One thing I'm always surprised at, man, is how much guys, man, how much the battle rap community loves anything that, is controversial. I'm not even gonna say negative. I'm gonna just say controversial. We love controversy, not just battle rap, but, in media, period. In all forms of media, everybody likes controversy and what's going on. I'm not somebody that ever really goes online or Twitter and express what's going on behind the scenes. I'm not a person who ever really does that. Working with Math Hoffa, definitely been a great experience. You know what I'm saying? He's definitely, I've learned from him. I'm sure he's learned from me. And, we've grown. My expert opinion, along with Misfit and Space Ghost, to make it what it is now that you guys really love and enjoy. And the point is to continue to make it keep growing. From what y'all was seeing today on Twitter, y'all gonna just have to make your mind up, you know what I'm saying? To see what's going on, read between the lines.
So I was like, all right, whatever, man. I'll play along. And then that's when you seen Hoffa put that tweet out, basically saying like, yo, Knowledge, you fired, you messed up a crazy deal, this, that, and the third. And that's when I ain't gonna lie though. One thing that did do, I received so many calls about, yeah, Hoffa grimy nigga and da-da-da. I'm like, damn, man, if you got wild enemies, man, people that don't really fuck with you like that. Because there was a lot of people hit me up behind the scenes going off on you, shitting on your name and getting, talking crazy like, yeah, it's good, yeah, I knew Hoffa was gonna do that, blah, blah, blah. And the whole time I'm like, yo, it's really not that deep. It's, it's really a joke in my heart. It's funny. So I'm like, you know what? Let me play into it. I'm going to do my blog. And that's when y'all see me do my blog. And I was like, yo, you can't fire me. Hoffa, I'm my own boss. Like, you bugging?
First of all, I can't get fired. I'm a boss. You know what I'm saying? I don't know which other way to say it. I own my own company. I'm doing my own thing. So I can't get fired. Working with Math Hoffa is more of a partnership type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Yes, it's on his channel, things like that, but I have equal say to say whatever the hell I want. You know what I'm saying? Or do or move how I like to move and things like that.
How you gonna fire me? You know what I'm saying? And that shit went viral. I was shocked. I was like, yo, this nigga Hoffa is a fucking genius. Like a mad genius. Like he's very smart. I didn't even understand what I was even getting myself into. And when I did, that's when I was like, oh, okay, I see what he was talking about, And from there on, that's when everybody started creating this, you got fired and, you know what I'm saying, me and Matt don't fuck with each other. And I'm doing the interviews with Goods and I'm doing all that. But, realistically, Matt definitely didn't like me doing interviews with everybody that, was talking about him. But in my mind, I'm like, yo, Matt, first of all, this shit is battle rap. You ain't got no real beef. You just did a show with Goods. Goods said all of this shit to your face. So it's like, what's the point of me not keeping the show going on? You call him a mechanic. I mean, he calls you a mechanic. You call him Princess Goods. Y'all going back and forth. To me, it's all entertainment. So I'm enjoying the back and forth. But, Hoffa definitely, I feel like he took that a little bit like, yo, if you supposed to be on my side, like, nigga, you shouldn't be doing all that. But I'm like, Hoffa, like, come on. This is what I do for a living. You know what I'm saying? So I guess in a sense, it was like a bit of a conflict of interest. But ultimately, I used to look at Hoffa like, yo, man, I'm going to do what I got to do anyway. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I know you're going to be successful doing what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? So eventually we kind of did, just go our ways. Once I moved to Atlanta, it was basically a wrap. I don't even remember the last episode, but I know the last few episodes. Maybe it was like, I remember we went to Miami. Math held it down, got me a room. We was lit, you know what I'm saying? I went in there, you know what I'm saying? We interviewed Nori, Nikki Jams, you know what I'm saying? It was a dope experience. And yeah, like, but I knew at the end, like, that was kind of like coming towards the end of my time on My Expert Opinion. But as for me, Math really never did anything funny where he didn't pay me or anything like that, because we never had that agreement, you know what I'm saying, of me getting paid or anything like that. I remember telling Matt from jump, like, yo, you don't have to pay me. I'm not, you know, worried about getting paid. Let's just build this shit up, you know what I'm saying, and whatever it's going to be is what it's going to be. And once it blows up and it do what it do, if it makes sense for me to get paid, then cool. If not, then it's no problem, because I'm going to figure it out. Like, that's one thing I'm very good at, is figuring out how to take care of myself, you know what I'm saying? And ultimately, that's what I did. I took care of myself, and I made sure I was good and was able to handle my business and do the things I needed to do. But watching Math continue to just grow, I had no doubt in my mind. I always knew he was going to be successful, continuously doing what he's doing, because you know why? Hoffa'S a beast. He goes crazy. He go hard with his work. You know what I'm saying? And he took it very serious. And I employ that to a lot of people, because I talk to a lot of people behind the scenes who are building a platform and who confide in me and reach out to me, and seeing the success that me and Math was able to have early on when I was working with him, and him continuing the success on his own with his new team and things like that. So I'm always constantly building with different people, helping build new platforms and stuff like that. And basically my mindset and the advice I give to everybody is be consistent and know what you want. Because if you know what you want and you're consistent and you go hard, you will have some level of success. If not, be extremely successful in what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? But ultimately, you know, that was some of my, you know, dealings and working with My Expert Opinion and Math and everything like that. It was a great run for me. I think I was in the first 74, 75 episodes or something like that. And they already at like 200 or some wild-ish. So, you know, Math done grew it to a whole nother level. And salute to him, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, I'm out here working, doing what I do. And again, you know, just here giving y'all some of my thoughts and some of my experiences being in this game. And, you know, salute to y'all, man, for listening. I appreciate you guys taking your time rocking with me. It's your boy Knowledge of God. Hip hop is real. You already know. We out of here.